Tonight, the family of Lance Camille is grieving after he was stabbed to death in an altercation during the wee hours of Wednesday. The Minister for Sustainable Development announces a ban on the importation of styrofoam and selected plastic food service containers as of the 1st of June 2019. And Dr. Ernest Hilaire calls for the Prime Minister to investigate matters of greater importance than the ongoing investigation into the Dr. Eubongus Raymond fiasco. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Wednesday the 17th of April 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, 105.5 and 105.9, CaribbeanHotTV.com, and of course on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A Mico man is dead after an altercation with a woman believed to be his own relative ended with him being stabbed. Whilst family and friends of the victim, Lance Camille, mourn their loss, they admit that he was bothersome at times, especially after consuming alcohol. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our reporting this evening.
Police have recorded another homicide after a man in his 30s was fatally stabbed in the early hours of Wednesday. The incident occurred at a bar in Angers, Mico, and the victim has been identified as Lance Camille, aka Pestro. According to reports, at about 2:20 a.m., Camille was involved in an altercation with a female who is believed to be a relative of his when he received 2 stab wounds. The owner of New Level Bar where the incident took place did not wish to appear on camera, but told Hot 7 News that although she did not see the exact moment that the victim was stabbed, she witnessed the aftermath.
I normally have karaoke every Tuesday night. And the early hours of the morning, I was at the back of my bar washing dishes, and I heard arguments. By the time I rushed at the front of the bar, I saw a guy with some stain on his shirt and the young lady standing to the entrance to my washroom. I asked what happened. Then somebody said, Gasa, amun picho. Then I went towards the guy and I told him, I have to find out what was going on. He went to the road, he went on his knees, and he told me, give me some cold water. I told him, okay. One of the guys answered and said that I will not give you any cold water because I don't know how deep the wound is. So when I went back, the guy said, who stabbed the guy? A young lady answered and said, I am the one who stabbed him. I'm tired of taking them insults. They're stealing my things. I'm tired of it.
Meanwhile, a close friend of the victim said he tried, albeit in vain, to warn his friend about his drinking habit.
Lance, c'est un monde qui a couru, il a confoué, qu'on tout bagaille pour moi. Mais yon bagaille puis là il boit, il juste embêtant. C'est comme ça qu'il a mauvais tout gens, Angers, dehors Angers, tout côté mon connaît li, en Valia, Castries, everywhere. Mais pour dire la vérité, hier après-midi, il a fait 25 minutes pour 6 heures. Moi, j'ai fini d'acheter la dernière bouteille, je frère, moi, ma vraie famille. Moi, je vais acheter un short one par comme là-bas, Alexis. Et je dis, Lance, pour caution, pas boire plus, aïe la caille fini. Je dis, Claude, naï home. Et quand je arrivé la caille, moi, je dormi, ma vie est bonne. Les moi, vie est bon matin là. Je crois que moi, je tué Lance.
Meanwhile, Camille's sister, Rosa Camille, reminisced about her last days with her brother. She admitted that he had a tendency to be troublesome when he consumed alcohol.
He was by me last night. We had a nice time. We talk, we drink, we eat. Yeah, we had a good time. I tell him to behave himself when he go back home. He tell me long time he don't see his children, yet he'll want to see his children. Yeah. And then we had a good time. We had no problem, nothing. He was there safe. He went away. My boyfriend gave him $10 and he went down. And like 5 o'clock in the morning, we get in a phone call. He's dead. My auntie called me and he tell me he's dead. He was okay. He was okay with everybody. Like, his little rum, you know, he's smoking. Yeah. He give a little trouble sometimes, not every time. Yeah. You know, everybody have their good and their bad. He's a little troublesome, you know, when he drink a little rum. Yeah. But he was a good person.
The female involved in the altercation is currently in police custody. A date for the post-mortem is yet to be scheduled. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
St. Lucia will be implementing a ban on the importation of styrofoam and selected plastic food service containers as of the 1st of June 2019. The announcement was made Wednesday afternoon by Minister for Sustainable Development, Dr. Gail Rigobert. She explained that any styrofoam and selected plastic food service containers landed after the 31st of May 2019 will not be released by the Customs and Excise Department. These items will be phased out over a one-year period, commencing the 1st of June 2019 until the 31st of May 2020. This approach will allow all stakeholders a chance to exhaust their current stock of styrofoam and selected plastic food service containers and to source environmentally friendly alternatives. The importer will bear the associated costs for disposal of any seized items. The minister has invited the private sector, non-government organizations, schools, the media, faith-based organizations, and residents to give full support as government endeavors to preserve the fragile environment. In other news, members of the opposition are clamoring for answers after recent reports indicate that an investigation will be carried out into the Dr. Ubaldus Raymond fiasco. The issue at hand for the opposition, the seemingly unresponsive attitude by the Prime Minister to launch a similar investigation into the document which is titled PAJOA Limited. The opposition says Minister Guy Joseph's signature is a concern and an investigation is warranted.
Members of the opposition continue to take Prime Minister Alan Shasney to task over what they say is the nonchalant attitude towards the PAJOA Limited letter bearing the signature that appears to be that of Economic Development Minister. The opposition wants answers about the authenticity of the letter. Minister Guy Joseph has not denied that the signature on the letter is his, but he has dodged questions from the press. On the other hand, heating up the political arena were the explosive tapes allegedly involving Dr. Ubaldus Raymond. Following days of speculation and media fodder, the Attorney General's office announced that the government has launched an investigation into the matter. At the moment, the question on the mind of Parliamentary Representative for Castries South, Dr. Ernest Hilaire, is why the government can investigate Dr. Ubaldus Raymond but not do the same for the Economic Development Minister in this PAJOA matter.
Forget the salaciousness of Ubaldus Raymond's interview. I'm not interested too much in that. But how can somebody sign a letter on the government letterhead using a minister's signature and nothing is being said about it? I mean, this is frightening.
Meanwhile, the leader of the opposition picked apart the address made by Prime Minister Alan Shasney during the appropriation bill and asserts that failure on the part of the PM to address PAJOA speaks volumes.
The Prime Minister says that the financial rules, the new rules proposed, will control debt accumulation by his government. However, he refuses to act when ministers of his cabinet issue to whom it may concern letters seeking finance that will increase debts.
Meanwhile, Dr. Hilaire says a comprehensive investigation must be carried out.
The Prime Minister has to have a thorough investigation into the circumstances of this letter. If it is a fake, call in the police to find out who prepared this letter and who signed it wrongfully. There has to be an investigation. Somebody cannot write a letter to go out there and raise $162 million on behalf of the government of St. Lucia. Nothing is done about it.
The opposition says this is an opportune time for the Prime Minister to demonstrate good governance and transparency. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The overall opinion of the Managing Director of Jamari & Sons, Everest Jamari, was that Prime Minister Alan Shasney's budget plans were too ambitious. On the other hand, the prominent business owner and former independent senator did note that the Prime Minister might have landed some solid hits regarding certain policies. He spoke with Solange Alfred.
The managing director of Jean-Marie & Sons, Evarista Jean-Marie, who sat down with Hot 7 News for an exclusive interview, is giving credit where it is due, as he explores the many facets of the 2019-2020 budget. Although in his opinion, there are many points of concern within the policies and projections, Jean-Marie says that all is not lost with the Prime Minister's direction.
There were two good things I thought that came out of it, and I think it was clever. And it regards to the income tax policy of the government. By increasing the threshold from 18 to 23,000, what you have done is made it possible that anybody earning up to $23,000 a year will not pay taxes. The government said that's revenue neutral. I don't think so. I think it's a very nice move, a very clever move. I give credit for that.
For his part, Prime Minister Alan Shasney, during his appropriation address, elaborates on the new personal income tax regime proposed to be made effective 1st January 2020.
With the overall objective of improving the efficiency of the tax system, the new regime seeks to provide income tax relief to lower income earners. A larger number of low-income employees will no longer be required to pay personal income tax, while others will benefit from the reduced tax liabilities. However, high-income earners will be expected to pay more as a result of the progressive nature of the tax system.
Meanwhile, Jean-Marie notes, even within the clever idea outlined by the Prime Minister, there are still faults.
At that level of income, any extra disposable income you've got, chances are you will spend it, not save it. Most of that is going to go in basic goods and services, which attracts VAT of 12.5%.
Overall, the businessman admits that with the reduction in personal tax, an impetus for the economy will be well on its way that should work towards boosting the public and private sector. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, the opposition leader responds to an alternative reality budget. The reigning Calypso king, T.C. Brown, is calling on fellow Calypsonians to step up and put in the work to propel themselves and their craft further than small local stages. And a closer look at the impressive CIP numbers. That and more when we return.